Hi, Shur-ēē Tay-bur. I'm the founder of Energy Healing Arts. This is video 4 in our series, How to Resolve Infections, Viruses, and Disease Early. We've established some very important fundamental basics in how to do this and how it got started, how it is that information, carrying infections, or carrying a virus or a bacteria, or those fields of intention that carry disease or any other consequential information that can come to you into your field and body and affect your life. And in the first 3 videos, we establish how this occurs and some very important basics, 3 very important primary steps to get started, and some protocol that'll help you in making the best intentions. So please don't skip videos 1, 2, or 3. Okay, so today in video 4, we're going to address infectious information that comes into your field. All right, now we know how it can come. So let's just say you're waking up in the morning and you're recognizing that you have some congestion. Maybe you have a tickle in your throat. Maybe your eyes are itchy, swollen. Maybe you're feeling a little bit of heaviness on your chest. But let's just say that you're waking up and you're saying, I don't think this is an allergy. I think this feels more like a cold. And given what we know is in the environment right now, I do not want this to convey to me any further. All right. So the first thing you want to do in this scenario, since we said maybe we woke up with this, is get out of bed. Do not lay there. The energetic fields have begun to make their way to you. Get out, because they're all targeting a particular location, and they do this. Once they begin targeting a particular location, they begin to stick and begin to adhere to certain surfaces and certain environmental conditions outside of your home, inside of your bedroom, and around your bed. All right, so let's say that this happened to you as the day went on. Let's say you woke up fine, didn't notice anything. You could have woken up maybe a little slower, little less really feeling like going on with your work day or whatever your plans might have been. But you didn't put much thought to it. You didn't really pay attention to how various aspects of your body were feeling. And this is why a really good check-in with ourselves every day, even throughout the day, is very important. But as we've established, we are so conditioned to just pushing through everything that we do not recognize we are already communicated to, or starting to feel the effects of energy that is not ours and does not belong with us, with our body. If you would check in with yourself, you could even say, all right, in this very moment, I personally am intending to know if there is anything that I need to address with my entire whole self. Is there any energy that's with me? Any energy that I could prevent coming to me today? And is there anything that I personally need to be aware of so that I can be completely well and continue navigating my pathway toward perfect health? And I'll know this answer in about 1 second. And that is all it takes for you to hear your inner voice, which is your vital life force energy, which is also your light, the very light that sustains life for you. And when you say, I'll know this answer in about 1 second, the divine knows, the divine hears you, and the divine begins to clear whatever it is that may be with you that keeps you from cognitively, consciously hearing and knowing the answers to your questions. One of the most powerful things I've learned is that I can say, in about a second, I'm going to know the answer to this. And that is an all call out, so to speak, to your source incarnating energies and essences and saying, hey, just in case I'm overshadowed, just in case something's trying to block my divine knowing, my divine communication, I know I'm going to know the answer in about a second. And that's all you got to say. Okay. So once you do that, whether it's in the morning when you're waking up, in the shower, or throughout your day, you will hear exactly what you need to know. Okay. So what we're saying is, if you can catch this early by putting this protocol or practice into your day, even if you only do it 3 times. I know that sounds like a lot because it's a new protocol, but 3 times is not a lot because things can come. Between video 3 and video 4, I encountered an energetic condition. And I had to use every single one of the steps I shared with you to be able to begin recording again. These videos are usually recorded with 1 take. It took 3 takes, and I said this, because this is what I know is true. God, you want me to do this. This is why I'm doing it. There are a million other things I could do right now. And I'm doing it because it's important. And there are very specific people I know who need this today. And I know that this will be helpful to others later. And if this is what you want me to finish right now, I need you to do these things, the things I've already shared in videos 1, 2, and 3. And within about 3 or 4 minutes, I began to be clear enough to hear the divine guide me through this video. But this video is a very important video, and this is why I began to be blocked or to be addressed energetically. Because if you learn how to do this, there are energetic conditions that cannot affect you. And there are energetic intention generators, is what we'll call them. And those intention generators do not want you to know how to become cleared. Okay. So you could be feeling sick. That would give you an indication that you've encountered fields of intention that cause you to become unwell, or that intend to call in energetic conditions so that you become unwell. But what we haven't said is, what are some of the other symptoms that could be occurring in this very moment that indicate to you energetic conditions are coming in? Okay, so let me be transparent. I don't have any known symptoms of feeling like I'm becoming sick. Okay, so let's establish that. However, since the break of video 3 to video 4, I have encountered an energetic condition. And this energetic condition immediately began to cause me to be unable to think sequentially like this. Okay, so that's definitely an energetic addressing, so to speak. While I'm talking to you in this moment, I'm getting poked in the head right here, right below where your crown, your 7th chakra, your crown chakra exists. It exists right here. And I'm getting poked right on the bottom edge of it. And it is like something's poking me. All right. So I grew up ignoring these kind of things. And I would shrug it off. Because I've had a relationship with the divine my entire life, I would be like, hey, this is happening. Please resolve it. Boom, 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 and I move on with my business. Okay. That worked for a while. That worked for most of my life. Yes and no, right? So I wouldn't have gotten COVID if it had worked really well. Okay. So it doesn't really work that well because we are living in a time of energetic conveyances. We each came here with a very important purpose. I don't know what your purpose is, but I do know mine. And mine is a healer. I'm a healer, I'm a mentor, I'm a teacher. And I have to know things. I have to understand what's happening in order to help other people prevent conditions that they were not supposed to experience. And in order to do that, I'm doing videos, I'm teaching, I'm working on behalf of clients as a healer, and energetic conditions don't want me to do that. So I do get conveyed to. When I get conveyed to, I need to be mindful. And in this moment, I am going to be mindful. I'm going to show you in real live presentation how that looks. So right now, I'm going to do exactly what I've encouraged you to do, and that is to say that I'm going to understand in about 1 second why I'm being poked in the back of the head. And this is what I'm hearing. The energy that I ran into downstairs when I went to refresh my juice knew what I was doing upstairs. And this energy was interfering. Now I know that because I felt it, I sensed it, and in the way that I can see, I saw it. And I asked the divine to eliminate it. This energy keeps returning to the same place. It just so happens to be where my food is prepared, and my food is prepared very carefully, and I use very specific energetic foods, tinctures, homeopathic remedies, so that I can continue to stay well while these infectious conditions are very high. And it likes to interfere with what I'm doing. Okay, now that's a lot about me. And I need to have that space sovereign so I can hear, so I know exactly what I need to take or what I need to add to my food or exactly what combination of foods I need to eat so I can clear energy that does not belong with me. And this is my life. And this is what I do. And I'm able to stay well. So let's listen to this for a second, okay? So this energy is conveying to me from a room downstairs. Because it's conveying to me from a room downstairs, I am inviting the divine to resolve it. And I'm intending to understand if there's anything more that I personally need to understand about its resolution. I understood before I went downstairs that I was going to be talking to you about these kinds of energies in your home, in your office, particularly in your offices. These kinds of energies come in and they create an established location where they create their little base. And when they create this base, they convey, like I've talked about, and call other energetic conditions in that are resonant with their intention. Now, this is another level of unwellness that can come in and affect your entire family. We're not talking about just an energetic resonance or vibration that they're able to call in. This particular constituency of energetic conditions has the capacity to call in other energetic conditions with a similar intention. Okay. So rather than talk about the intention of the one I'm referring to, I'm going to also ask, is there anything else I personally need to understand before that is fully resolved? And anything else, any is resolved. As I said that, in my mind, I also repeated my protocol that I shared with you in the last video about perfecting, protecting, potentiating, and conditioning that so that that request is perfect and whole. And this is what I'm hearing. That congested condition that is downstairs has been there a while. And because it's been there a while, it doesn't end instantly. Now, I don't like that. And I'm aware of this. And I don't like it. I understand that the divine has the capacity to end something faster than I can click my fingers. And I know this. So what else do I need to know? That this intention doesn't want to leave. I don't care. And I'm not talking to the intention. I will never talk to an intention. I will never talk to the energy. I'm asking the divine for clear understanding if there is anything else I need to know. And I am hearing that this is being resolved. So you can see how the information that came to me right before this little last bit that it's being resolved wanted me to engage it. I knew that was not the divine. It has a different resonance. The divine doesn't speak to me in this way, and the divine works with me in such a way that I know when I'm working with the divine. I will not talk to other energy. There are a lot of energy practitioners who will, and they will speak to that energy to understand more information. My experience after 30 years is those kinds of energies don't tell you the truth. So to spend my time talking to it is a waste of time, and it's dangerous. It's just as dangerous as going on a journey in the way that we explained, we, me as in me and the divine who's speaking to me, explained in a prior video, that journeying, that moving yourself into another realm and experience is unsafe. Speaking to an energy from any realm is unsafe, because when they're there for malicious reasons, they're not going to tell me the truth. And the only energy that's going to be with me or with my home for good reasons, for good, is the divine. And they will never approach me or never say to me anything that causes me harm, concern, fear, or defense. That's not how the divine works. And if you have that feeling at the slightest level, you are not hearing the divine. So this happens sometimes when I'm doing these videos, energy will come in. I do my best to share with you transparently how I handle it for many reasons. One, because if you see me handle it in the moment, then you have an understanding how to handle it in the moment. And anything can go, anything can happen. It isn't always going to happen in the same way. The concept is important. And the concept is, I will know in a second what it is I need to understand. And then I knew that I wasn't hearing the divine. And I stopped. And I intended to hear only from the divine, which is a powerful, powerful, non-negotiable protocol of mine. So I heard what I needed to understand, that it is being resolved. And in the beginning of that conversation, we heard that it has been there a while and that it will take a little while to resolve. There's a little bit of truth in that. It's been there a while. It wants me to believe it takes a little while to resolve. And as I said, I don't like that answer because I know the divine can end something in a second. And I know sometimes the divine ends things so that a whole system or an entire constellation, which could be, pardon me, could be here in my house, which is very unlikely. Could be that the constellation is community-wide. Could be that it is city-wide. Could be that it's part of a global constellation. That is very likely in our current global, collective, energetic conditions. Okay, so I'm going to review one more time what we learned here. One, energy can come at any time of day. Two, you could be getting a virus. You could be getting a sickness or an illness or a condition, an infection, and it doesn't feel like it. You have to listen to your body. So I was clear and transparent when I said, here's what I'm experiencing after my experience downstairs. Here it is. Doesn't feel like an illness, doesn't feel like a sickness, but it's poking. Because it's poking, because it causes a sensation in my body, I'm very clearly aware I have energy with me that doesn't belong. Did the one thing. What is it I need to understand, speaking only with, intending to only receive a response from the divine in a way I understand it in about 1 second. And only listening to the divine to understand if there's anything that I personally need to do. You personally do not need to do anything when you invite the divine to clear you. There are, however, conditions with the kinds of fields of intention that come in. These fields of intention will have requirements within them, requirements that are very clearly articulated in a way that the divine understands, which they understand everything, and knows have to be followed explicitly for the field to clear, for the entire constellation of conditions to clear permanently and forever. And the divine is capable of following those intentions very rapidly. However, there can be other conditions that take a little bit longer to resolve and must be resolved before that field of intention can be. Now, two things. One, when these fields of intention are with us, if another thing has to be resolved before it can be fully resolved, the common thought is then, oh, this is going to be with me, whether it's for another few seconds or minutes or hours or whatever. And I don't want that effect. And this is why we do the steps I talked about in the prior videos that say very clearly, the divine hold all. Because the divine was holding all, I suspected there wasn't anything that I would personally need to do. However, these fields have requirements in them, often, almost always. If you have a field of intention that is conveying information to you, the person, you, may have to ask for it to be resolved. Sometimes the person may have to make a prayerful intention. For me, no problem. But if you're a person who isn't a prayer, if you're a person who doesn't really have a relationship for whatever reason with the divine, you are unlikely to do something you've never done before. And when these fields of intention were created, they were created this way because there are many people who do not have a relationship with divine. There are many people who don't know how to ask for something to be resolved. And there are many people who, like you and me, have been conditioned to ignore prods and pokes and itches and aches and conditions. If you feel a hot flash coming on, whether you're menopausal, premenopausal at any age, or postmenopausal, you can be certain energy has come to you and is beginning to address your vital life force energy. Addressing your vital life force energy is the fastest way to bring energy into your whole self. So let's call this step 4, okay? What you saw at the beginning of this video to this point was an exercise of understanding what it is I was feeling. You can do the same thing. You also don't have to understand it. You can just intend it is resolved. And this is going to be an experiential video because I'm having a hot flash. I don't have hot flashes. I did when I was menopausal, but not menopausal and haven't been for a very long time. So what I feel is an energetic, it feels like a leather field. A leather, if you put a thin piece of leather, maybe thicker than goat leather, but not as thick as cow leather. If you laid a strip of that down the back of my head from about an inch above where my cranium ends, down my spine, is kind of what that felt like when it came in. And I can feel it moving this direction. Now, anything that's moving in this direction has an intention to address the lymph system, to address other kinds of essences and aspects of our physical body that I don't necessarily have the right names for. And if it's going down the way you see my hands, it's headed toward my heart, it's headed toward my lungs, and it's here to create an intention. One of two things: affect my heart or bring a condition in that could cause wheezing, anything. I'm hearing what it's here to cause, but that's not going to happen. And I'm not going to justify it by saying it. Don't talk about what you hear about, because it kind of glorifies the energetic conditions and they love it. I don't talk about it, and I won't name what I heard, but I will intend that this is over. And this intention followed what was poking and prodding me at the top back of my head. So in this particular step, this is a very good experiential opportunity in this video. Interesting. Okay, so here I sit in our time, Eastern time. It's about 3:15 in the afternoon. And I'm not feeling sick, but I feel a little something right over my heart space on the right, which would be right in the center of a lung, my right lung. And we're not going to let this happen. I'm also feeling some energy happening right here. Not an uncommon place for me to feel energy when it's trying to come in. And it usually tries to come in through my right arm. So here we have some effect that is over my heart, over my right side of my chest, conveying in my right arm. This is energy. I have no sense of being in any health condition whatsoever. I'm having nothing else. But as a woman, and if you're aware of symptoms, and now I'm having an effect right here. Okay, this is how energy moves in to scare us. The moment I begin, and it's conveying to here. Now, this is a common area of conveyance for energy for me. If you understand these symptoms, you could understand how you could start to go, oh, I need to pay attention to this. And your heart might speed up, and perhaps some fear. And this gives it more ground. And if you're being responsible to your health, you're going, okay, I'm feeling these symptoms and I'm understanding that there's something happening here. And now I feel it moving in under the left breast around the area of my heart. So this clearly has an intention, and it's being, I'll call this aggressive, because I'm able to feel it. I know what's happening here. This is why checking in the minute you feel a symptom is critical. Okay, and I feel the need to cough again. So I know what this is doing. It's very symptomatic of the name of its intention. So that is not happening. So I'm going to say what I said a minute ago. In about a second, I'm going to know if there's something I need to do, and I can feel information, energetic information coming through here, wants to cloud my thinking, wants to make this challenging for me because I'm teaching something that's going to end the capacity for environmental conditions, for local conditions, and for infectious conditions to have the capacity to bring infection to you, the flu, RSV, or COVID, or any other infection for that matter. Okay, so what I'm hearing is that the divine is ending this. This is something that was in motion before I went downstairs after I finished the prior video. This is an effect that's occurring to me because of the work I'm doing right here. People who are in the healing world, whether you're a nurse, a doctor, a practitioner of any kind of healing art, we are most affected right now because our job is to help people be well and to help people stay well. And the energies that are trying to dominate and create an effect in our home and with our household, with our families or our children, do not want us to understand how to end things. So you can hear the consistency that I hear about the divine ending it. The most important thing that you can learn in this video is to pay attention to your symptoms. Tell your whole self. Now, on a video, I don't usually do this, but I'm going to do it because I'm being guided to. You'll know if you've watched my videos before, when a clearing's occurring, for me and for most people, air releases. As it releases, then you'll watch me do that. So I don't burp in public, but here I am releasing air in a training video. Okay, so water can also leave the areas of your body that water can leave. Your eyes could become teary. You could have water just suddenly leave your nose. You could have a little drool. That would be common. You can have gas other than a burp. You can have a little stomach. It's not upset, but you might feel a little gurgly, or you might feel energy starting to release or tighten before it releases. These are things that you could feel. I'm feeling like part of what I shared that I felt back here starting to be moving away. When the divine removes things, they don't come back. Something similar could return until your body is fully healed. But what was resolved, not coming back. So I have none of the symptoms I talked about already. Those are being held by God while everything is being released. But I am having a little symptomatic something right here. And I don't know if you heard that, but my jaw just cracked. That's not uncommon. And that's a way to release energy for me. Don't do it if your jaw doesn't normally release in that way. But the divine knows it because I'm saying it. Now, if I was just doing my thing, not being connected in a way of knowing that the divine is guiding me here in the way that I'm connected, I would say, hey, God, got a little something going on here, got a little something going on here, a little something in my eye. I got a system happening here. Please end it. And if there's anything that I need to understand, please let me know in about a second. And if at any point throughout the day, the night, that I personally need to know something, that I personally need to do something to protect my health, I will know in about a second. Okay, so this video has been all about understanding how to recognize energy when it is with you. Back again, poking the crown would have been easy to ignore while I was working on this video, but that seems to be exactly what I was going to talk about in this video, was how energy feels when it comes to us. Now, I've been getting those kind of pokes in my head. I can't remember not having them. I can remember being in elementary school and feeling things like this. This right here, all along the top of my cheekbone, moving around here, common. This energetic conveyance here, I probably would not have noticed it if I weren't doing this video with you. And then I feel like I have a little bit of a metal plate right about right here that's conveying to the back of my head. That's part of this whole system. And I would just nonchalantly, without thinking, because this is what I have learned to do, ask God to end it. I would have asked all of my divine energies and essences who incarnated in this lifetime as me to be with me consciously, very presently, so presently I would know, and I am, they know I asked this, so presently with me that nothing can happen. And so very present with any and all, so no one has an effect or a consequential outcome in any way. And that's it. So you say, that's all there is to it, to end an illness or a virus or a disease. Stay tuned. Video number 5, we're going to talk about the next things you can do, the next things you need to understand so that you can move forward aggressively in an accelerated way on your pathway to 100% prime health, your best life, and protected, potentiated life safety. Join me. See you in a minute.